There's a secret rule about money that almost nobody talks about, and yet it has shaped the rise and fall of empires, the collapse of currencies, and the fortunes of everyday people for centuries. Imagine working your whole life, saving carefully, only to watch that wealth slowly vanish, not because of your mistakes, but because there's an invisible game being played behind the scenes, a game the elite always win. This hidden rule determines who profits and who loses every single time money moves through the system. From ancient Rome to Weimar Germany, from the Great Depression to the financial crises of today, ordinary people end up paying the cost while insiders quietly enrich themselves, taking advantage of patterns most of us will never even notice. In this video, we're going to uncover that secret rule, reveal exactly how it operates in modern economies, and show you why it has consistently ruined everyone except the elite. You'll see historical examples that feel almost like déjà vu, and you'll understand how this invisible system is shaping your money, your savings, and your life right now. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you won't just see the rule for the first time, you'll understand the steps you can take to protect yourself before the cycle hits you again, and you'll finally grasp the hidden forces controlling wealth that the powerful Don T wants you to know. Section 1, The Secret Rule Explained. The first step to understanding why ordinary people almost always lose while the elite profit is to grasp the secret money rule itself. Wealth always flows to those who control the system first. Think of money not as paper or numbers on a screen, but as a force that moves through networks, banks, governments, and markets. Whoever has early access to that flow can capture enormous gains before the consequences ripple out to the rest of society. In simple terms, the people at the top get to play the game with insider knowledge, leverage, and timing, while the masses unknowingly participate in a system designed to transfer wealth upwards. Consider interest, debt, and inflation. These are not just abstract financial concepts. They are mechanisms built into the system to reward insiders. When a central bank prints new money or lowers interest rates, the first recipients are large banks and institutions. They can invest, speculate, and grow their wealth before the value of the currency begins to erode. Ordinary citizens, on the other hand, see the effects much later. Prices rise, savings lose purchasing power, and debt becomes harder to manage. The system is invisible, yet predictable, and it repeats itself every time money is introduced, manipulated, or redistributed. This rule also explains why asset bubbles form. Stocks, real estate, and commodities often soar, not because everyone suddenly becomes wealthier, but because insiders acquire them at advantageous prices before the rest of the market catches up. Meanwhile, the average person struggles to keep up, paying more for essentials while the elite profit from rising asset values. This isn't a conspiracy theory, it's a pattern that history proves over and over. By understanding this rule, you can start seeing through the invisible forces controlling your finances and recognize the ways the system has been rigged for centuries. Section 2, Historical Evidence. History is filled with examples of this secret money rule in action. Take ancient Rome, where the elite controlled land, loans, and credit. When citizens fell into debt, their property was seized, and the rich consolidated power. The same pattern appears in Weimar Germany. After World War I, the government printed massive amounts of money to pay debts, causing hyperinflation. Prices doubled by the hour. Workers carrying wheelbarrows of cash could barely afford bread, yet speculators and those with access to foreign currency or assets saw incredible gains, converting worthless marks into lasting wealth. Ordinary Germans suffered while the elite leveraged the chaos to secure properties and investments. Fast forward to the 2008 financial crisis in the United States. Banks engaged in risky lending and complex financial instruments, creating a bubble that eventually burst. Ordinary homeowners lost their savings and properties, while large financial institutions were bailed out by government intervention. Once again, the rule was clear. Those who controlled the system benefited first, and everyone else paid the price. Similar examples appear in Japan's economic stagnation, Argentina's repeated currency collapses, and the more recent crises in Venezuela and Zimbabwe. The key takeaway from these examples is that the pattern repeats itself across time and geography. It doesn't matter whether the system is ancient or modern, democratic or authoritarian, insiders always capture the benefits of new money first, leaving the majority exposed to its negative consequences. Recognizing these historical cycles is crucial because they give us a blueprint for understanding today's financial system and the invisible mechanisms shaping wealth in ways most people never notice. Section 3, How the Rule Works Today. In modern economies, the secret money rule operates under a more sophisticated disguise. Governments and central banks have created systems like quantitative easing, low-interest loans, and stimulus packages that appear neutral but actually favor those with early access to capital. Banks and large corporations can leverage this new money to invest, speculate, or expand, while the general public experiences only delayed effects such as inflation and higher costs of living. Take the housing market as an example. Low-interest policies can inflate property prices, benefiting investors who already own real estate while making it increasingly difficult for first-time buyers to enter the market. The same goes for stock markets. Government stimulus often reaches large institutional investors first, allowing them to capitalize on rising asset prices. Meanwhile, ordinary people see their savings eroded by inflation, their wages stagnating, and their purchasing power declining. Debt is another key part of the rule. Governments often rely on citizens to absorb the costs of money manipulation through taxation and loans. Credit cycles are carefully engineered to ensure that when money flows into the economy, it amplifies wealth at the top while leaving the average individual in a constant struggle to catch up. Even in the age of digital currencies and online finance, the same pattern persists. Early access and insider knowledge continue to dictate who benefits from the system. Understanding this hidden structure allows you to anticipate shifts in the economy, recognize patterns before they affect your personal finances, and make strategic decisions to protect your wealth. The elite have been using this rule for centuries, and today, the system is more subtle but no less powerful. By seeing through the illusions, you gain a crucial edge that most people never even realize exists. Section 4. Why most people never notice the secret money rule works precisely because it is almost invisible to the average person. Its effects are delayed, subtle, and hidden behind complex economic language that few take the time to understand. Inflation, interest rates, and debt cycles are terms that sound technical, but in practice they gradually erode savings, inflate costs, and redistribute wealth in favor of insiders. Most people never connect the dots because the process feels abstract and slow-moving. Psychology also plays a role. Humans are wired to focus on immediate concerns, paying bills, earning a paycheck, buying groceries. The long-term effects of money manipulation remain hidden, creeping in gradually until it's too late to act. Media coverage often focuses on short-term market movements rather than the invisible rules that control wealth. Meanwhile, elites and insiders understand these systems intimately and use them to anticipate shifts, hedge risks, and capture gains before the public even notices. Education or the lack of it is another reason. Schools rarely teach the history of money, debt, and wealth concentration, leaving the public vulnerable to repeating mistakes. People unknowingly follow the system's cues, taking on debt, investing at the wrong time, or saving in ways that are ultimately eroded by policy decisions. Recognizing that these patterns exist is the first step toward breaking free from the invisible traps that have ruined generations of ordinary people. Once you understand the rule, you can start seeing the economy not as a neutral system, but as a game designed with winners and losers. Section 5. How to protect yourself while the secret money rule may seem unstoppable. History also shows that awareness and strategy can help you protect your wealth. The first step is education, understanding how money flows, how debt works, and how inflation erodes purchasing power. Knowledge allows you to anticipate patterns rather than being caught off guard. Diversification is essential. Spread your assets across multiple forms: real estate, precious metals, foreign currencies, inflation-protected securities, and investments that are less vulnerable to policy manipulation. Historically, individuals who hedged against currency devaluation or invested in tangible assets survived periods of extreme financial instability. Debt management is equally critical. Avoid high-interest loans, understand how credit cycles operate, and do not rely solely on paper savings that can lose value during inflation or money printing cycles. Strategic borrowing and smart investments can allow you to take advantage of opportunities while mitigating risk. Finally, adopt a long-term perspective. The elite exploit short-term patterns while ordinary people react emotionally to crises. By staying informed, observing historical trends, and planning ahead, you gain the ability to protect your wealth and avoid the pitfalls that the system repeatedly sets for the majority. Understanding the secret money rule doesn't just give you knowledge, it gives you power. By seeing the system for what it is, you can finally start playing the game on your terms rather than being played. The secret money rule has been quietly shaping wealth for centuries, and now that you know it, you can see how the system really works. Ordinary people lose, insiders profit, And history keeps repeating itself because most never understand the invisible forces at play. But knowledge changes everything. By recognizing who benefits, how money flows, and the patterns that have been exploited for generations, you've taken the first step toward protecting yourself. This isn't just about surviving, it's about seeing the system clearly, making smarter decisions, and reclaiming control over your own financial destiny. Remember, the elite thrive because most people don't know the rules, but now you do. Share this video so others can understand the truth. Subscribe for more hidden patterns in money and history, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a lesson the powerful Don T want you to see. The cycle continues. The rules remain hidden, and the question is, will you play by their rules, or will you finally learn to play your own?